Here we go. Peter Brock.
Neil Shembry, I think it might have been.
This is the battle behind Bow. This is the battle for second and third position. Peter Brock with Glenn Seaton close behind him.
Yes, I think Glenn is very close behind him, Mark. He's shadowing him very efficiently. Glenn could be very easily on a softer Bridgestone. Peter has advocated that he's quite happy on the harder version, and it served him well in a couple of other heats, a couple of other rounds that we've had earlier in the year.
Well, it's interesting with the Peter Jackson forwards, Alan. I was talking to Glenn yesterday. They go for the rock hard tyre on the back of the Falcon that Brock uses, but for the front of the car they go for a slightly softer tyre because apparently the Falcon's not quite as hard on tyres as the Commodore. So Seaton very, very confident that he has the setup tyre-wise here to do the day, and Brock equally confident with his setup, so it should be an absorbing contest as these laps wear down.
Although these three drivers will be very aware of the lap countdown, they'll be watching, not only watching their pit board, they'll be listening to their team managers saying, okay, how are you?
I'll tell you what, Seaton is the fastest man on the circuit now. He's just undercut that lap record set by Bauer, 52.077. So he's undercut the lap record set only moments ago.
You can read the body language of the car, can't you? Just looking a little anxious there. He wants to push Brock a little harder. He wants to get by.
Yeah, well, lapping faster than Brock at this stage. So Seaton follows him through in third position to come the main straight. There you can see the gaps quite clearly. John Bow in first position is Shell 18 just going out of shot. There's Brock and Seaton in second and third positions. So the battle for the top three still very closely matched, and Bow's only got to make a slip up here. These two will be right on top of him.
A slight slip at that, Mark. It won't take anything, and these two will close on him very substantially.
Bow getting into traffic now, just out of shot here in front of these two cars, so this may be the chance that Brock and Seaton have been waiting for, although Brock won't want to blink either, because Glenn Seaton's all over him like a rash.
Well,
he won't even have to look in his rear view mirror at this stage. He'll see the blue flashing automatically.
Bow's negotiated those two slower cars. One of them is a Mitre 10 car. They're going through on the inside of that now. Brock goes through, so does Seaton. One more car to get by here.
Tremendous fight back from the Peter Jackson team. They're in all sorts of trouble at Bathurst only a couple of rounds ago, but Seaton's gone back. He's done his homework. They're getting more power out of the car. It's always handled very well, and now he's right back into title contention. As he tucks up behind the wing of the Mobile 05 Commodore, boy, it looks like he's cutting faster laps than Brock here, Alan.
Yes, he's got his mind on the lead now. You can see he's trying to position him, or trying to get position. Brocky doesn't have to move over, of course. He's done it nicely there, but I do think he is holding Glenn up a bit at the moment.
Brock's last time around a 53.28, I should say, and Seaton just a tenth faster than that, but he's being held up by Brocky. I'd love to see what sort of progress he can make if he gets past. But 05, he's going to put up a battle here, and as Alan Jones said earlier on this morning, this play's very, very difficult to pass. The car's so evenly matched.
Well, the thing is, it takes you 3 laps to get set up for a pass, and then you've got about 0.03 of a second to commit yourself, and if you miss it, then you've got 3 more laps to wait to get set up again.
To get going, yes. It's a real driver's circuit, Gary, and very, very difficult to put a fellow like Peter Brock in a position where you can nail him, and he's not about to just allow that to happen.
We've had 35 years of racing here at this Lakeside circuit they're celebrating this year. Has it outlived its usefulness like some people claim?
I wouldn't like to get into that just at the moment. Thank you very much.
It still provides great racing.
It's
still
one of the finest circuits in the country for drivers to find out what they can really do. I'm sure it could lend itself to a shovel here or there, improvements.
It's a brave circuit.
It is. You do have to be brave here, extremely, and you have to have your car working well for you if it's going to serve you well. And we're looking at some well-serving cars here at the moment. I think 05 is handling very well at the moment. If it wasn't doing what it's doing, Glenn would have driven by him by now.
Holden Racing Team, no shortage of engine performance here too. Eric Gaynor now in charge of engine development. Holden Racing Team following the departure of Rob Benson.
And you can hear the difference.
Well, all the drivers, they really are enjoying the performance from the cars now, and they really are genuine contenders, the HRT cars now. They've been
got him. Oh, no, he hasn't.
Not yet.
Had a look down the inside, got on the brakes, just enough to pull the nose clear of the 05 Commodore, but he knows this is going to be a very tough job here. Meanwhile, Bow is out ahead of him and opening up the gap to second and third.
Yes, these fellows in there scrap because Peter is genuinely doing a little defensive driving, but certainly not antagonistically. Is giving Bow just that little chance. Bit of smoke there, I think, was just overrun on the engine, not tire smoke.
And this is just the situation that Bow would want, isn't it, Alan? He's got second and third fighting amongst each other, and as you said, he's got to keep this car nice and straight, keep those nice, consistent, smooth laps happening, and he's opened the gap to 3 seconds now.
That's right. The less pressure on him, the less defensive driving he's got to do, the longer those tyres are going to last him.
Yes, he can nurse it through now. Well, I won't say now.
Oh, John Bow, he did it in qualifying, so notice that he was going to be the man to beat today, and he holds premier position midway through this first heat. John Bow for Shell FAI Falcon, ahead of Peter Brock, Glenn Seaton, Alan Jones and Dick Johnson, the top 5. Well, he tried and tried, and he succeeded at last. Glenn Seaton has slipped by Peter Brock and takes over second spot behind John Bow here at Lakeside. And Brock battled as long and as hard as he could, but don't count him out yet. He has got the hard compound tyres, and it won't be surprised to see him right there again at the finish. The top 3 at the moment have dropped off Alan Jones just a little in 4th place. Dick Johnson also back there with Jones and Thomas Mazira. But this is where the action is at the front. Glenn Seaton, after hounding Brock for 5 or 6 laps, has managed to slip by, goes by John Trimble now, one of the slower back markers, and sets off in pursuit of John Bow. Day here at Lakeside. The weather has clouded over, a couple of showers early, but it's fine and dry at the present time as we take Dunlop race cam with Dick Johnson, who was currently in 5th position and just biding his time, waiting for things to unfold in front of him. That's Thomas Mazira right behind him.
I was going to say, Wilco, pretty difficult way to bide your time with Thomas Mazira coming bearing down behind him. Thomas driving his 2 or 3-year-old car this weekend. The new car he debuted at Phillip Island, which he ended up putting in the fence, is just being reassembled down in the workshops of Melbourne. So he's running the old girl once again at Lakeside, doing a fair job of it too. 6th position for Thomas, behind Johnson, Jones, Brock, Seaton, and of course our race leader Bow.
Yeah, to do it in this car is very commendable.
Well, there are never really too many old cars come out of a professional race team. The windscreen and the roof panel might be old, but I think there's some pretty fresh running gear there, and he's doing well.
Alan Jones, who survived a little bit of a mishap in the Peter Jackson Dash for Cash, is out there mixing it, and not far off the front runners, in 5th position at the present time, after a terrific performance by both he and Glenn Seaton at the round at Phillip Island in atrocious conditions down there. All credit to them to be able to come through the way they did.
A fine team, and cars always tremendously well presented. They look a treat, as all the lead cars do, I might add, but particularly well-maintained vehicles, and no safety preeminent in the minds of the mechanics that nurse these cars. And there is a lot of nursing. People think that they're ordinary Falcons or ordinary Commodores drop down out of the sky here on Sunday morning. They aren't. These are $300,000 cars that every nut and bolt polished, x-rayed, double-checked, triple-checked, and preeminent in the minds of the professional mechanics is the safety of the drivers.